Imagine a world where the United States isn't just responding to global threats from afar, it's stepping right into the fray with covert actions and even whispers of ground invasions. President Donald Trump's recent revelations about his administration's stance on Venezuela have ignited a firestorm of debate, blending national security, immigration, and drug policy into a high-stakes drama that could redefine America's role on the world stage. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this bold approach a necessary shield against chaos, or is it risking international norms and sparking unintended conflicts? Let's dive in and unpack the details, breaking it down step by step so everyone can follow along, no matter your level of political savvy. During a press briefing in the Oval Office on Wednesday, President Trump openly acknowledged that he has given the green light for covert operations by the CIA within Venezuela. He went further, signaling that his team is actively considering direct military strikes on land inside the South American nation. This isn't just talk. It's a shift in how the U.S. tackles issues that spill over its borders. Trump emphasized that these actions stem from two pressing concerns: the overwhelming influx of migrants and the relentless flow of illegal drugs originating from Venezuela. To put it simply, for those new to these topics, covert operations often involve secret missions by intelligence agencies like the CIA, which could include gathering information, supporting local groups, or other undisclosed activities, all without public acknowledgement to maintain security and avoid diplomatic fallout. Trump's reasoning was straightforward. I authorized for two reasons, really. Number one, they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America. They came in through the border, he explained, highlighting how Venezuela's release of criminals has contributed to U.S. border challenges. And that's not all. He pointed out the surge of drugs, noting, we have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela, and a lot of the Venezuelan drugs come in through the sea. So you get to see that, but we're going to stop them by land also. This ties into broader migration patterns where desperate individuals flee economic hardship and political repression, only to face U.S. policies aimed at stemming the tide. When reporters pressed Trump on whether the CIA had been authorized to take out Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, a euphemism for assassination or removal, he brushed it off as ridiculous to even speculate. But I think Venezuela is feeling heat. But I think a lot of other countries are feeling heat too. We're not going to let this country, our country, be ruined because other people want to drop, as you say, their worst, Trump added, suggesting a wider application of pressure to nations struggling with crime and instability. This raises intriguing questions about sovereignty. How far should one country go to influence another's internal affairs, especially when it involves covert meddling? And this is the part most people miss. Trump didn't stop at covert ops. He hinted at escalating to land-based strikes against drug cartels, framing it as part of a broader war on narcotics. Well, I don't want to tell you exactly, but we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control, he revealed, building on recent actions. Just the day before, Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shared a video of a deadly strike on what they claimed was a Venezuelan drug-laden boat. Since September 2nd, the administration has conducted military attacks on at least 5 such vessels in the Caribbean Sea, targeting suspected smugglers. This approach marks a departure from tradition, where previous presidents relied on law enforcement agencies like the Coast Guard or DEA for interdiction rather than lethal military force. Here's where controversy really heats up. Using missiles and airstrikes on drug boats is unprecedented in U.S. history, and it sparks serious legal debates. Experts point out that such actions could violate international law or raise questions about due process. Who decides these boats are guilty without ironclad proof? During the Oval Office exchange, journalists challenged Trump on how the administration verifies the presence of drugs and traffickers aboard. He insisted they were certain, yet provided no supporting evidence. We're sure, he stated flatly. But critics argue this lack of transparency could undermine trust in government decisions. For beginners, think of it like this. In the past, Catching smugglers was more like a police chase. Stop, search, and prosecute. Now, it's akin to preemptively eliminating the threat with firepower, which some see as efficient, while others view it as overreach that bypasses courts and diplomacy. Trump also addressed why not stick with tried-and-true methods, like using the Coast Guard to intercept boats. Because we've been doing that for 30 years and it has been totally ineffective, he replied, explaining that smugglers now use high-speed vessels, world-class speedboats, that outpace traditional patrols. But they're not faster than missiles, he quipped, underscoring the administration's technological edge. This pivot to military might reflects a frustration with decades of drug war strategies that haven't fully curbed the flow, perhaps drawing parallels to broader debates on crime and enforcement. Yet, it invites counterpoints. Could investing more in international cooperation or aid to vulnerable nations like Venezuela yield better long-term results without the risk of escalation? In wrapping this up, Trump's Venezuela strategy is a bold gamble that promises quick action against drugs and migration, but opens a Pandora's box of ethical, legal, and diplomatic dilemmas. As someone who's covered these shifting sands of geopolitics, I can't help but wonder, is this the right path to secure America's borders? Or does it set a dangerous precedent that could embroil us in more foreign entanglements? Do you agree with Trump's tough stance? Or do you see it as an overreaction that ignores root causes, like poverty and corruption, in places like Venezuela? Maybe you think covert ops are a smart, silent solution, or perhaps they're just too risky in today's interconnected world. Whatever your take, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going and explore these thorny issues together.